Hi there. What I'm going to go over with you today is the expectations and how to create your First Chapter Friday extra credit assignment. It's a one-pager, and these papers, you can see one here that has some instructions on it, and also this template is a little larger in the Schoology folder for you to access. And you can find these blank templates in class. They're in our materials and supplies area of the classroom. So in order to be able to complete this one pager, you need to go into the Amplify library through Clever. And when you do so, you will select a book from the library that you would like to read just the first chapter of. It's just First Chapter Friday, and as it sounds, you only are responsible for reading the very first chapter and creating this one pager on that. Sometimes it takes a little while to load up. And when you do, you are able to scroll through all the different genres and possibly books that you have heard of and are already interested in. And so I'm going to show you one for the book Coraline. You may have already seen the film, and I was interested because I had seen the film and I enjoy the film. I usually watch it around Halloween time. I wanted to read the first chapter and create my one pager based on that. Now, being that I am creating my First Chapter Friday one pager on Coraline, none of you are able to do so on that book. Now, there are other books here too that are also movies and television shows, so you're welcome to scroll through this top part here, the read before you watch it section. So I'm going to open up Coraline, and when I do so, I'm just going to find the first chapter and read through it. And you can do so by either just clicking through one page after another. Oops. Slowly loading up. And as it's loading, you can see down here the expectations are, the first one is in the center to put the title of the book and the author. There's a note here at the top that you need to color and add illustrations for each of the boxes as well. And so here's the first page, and I can either just go through and hit next, and eventually I will hit, of course, the first chapter. And then I will also show you how to access the table of contents that has clickable links as well. And so you can go through that way if you don't want to, or if you're having trouble just skipping through to find the first chapter. Up here is the table of contents, and I'm just going to click over to chapter 1. And after I read chapter 1, I'm going to put in the top box an illustration having to do with the character or main character or characters mentioned in the first chapter. You're going to describe how they look, act, or feel. In this box is for visualizing. What are you able to visualize or picture in your head? You're going to write 2 questions that you have after reading the first chapter. And here's the first chapter of Coraline. And you can use the illustrations that they give you, or you can create your own after you read through the first chapter. Remember, you are not going to create one on Coraline because that's the one I'm doing it on. You need to make a connection. And then the last one is make a prediction or an inference of what's to come later on in the book. Okay, so to look at mine for Coraline, and again, you can find a bigger image of this in Schoology, but in the center here, I have the title of the book and the author, and I underline the title of the book because that's the proper way to note that it is a book and not a short story. And it is by Neil Gaiman, and there is a cat mentioned, so I drew the cat's face there. Notice I don't have a ton of photographs, or images, illustrations. I just drew a main one for each, but you can put as many illustrations as you'd like. You could have more illustrations than words, but you do need to have a little bit of both. Up here at the top where we're supposed to talk about character, I put Coraline is young, bored, she's an explorer and a dreamer. Right here where we talk about visualizing, I put that I could visualize or I could picture Coraline's dream, and I drew her what she was dreaming. And then for my 2 questions, why is the little door covering up just bricks? Why did Coraline's family move to this new house? And I just drew the door that she talks about in the first chapter. Down at the bottom where we're doing predictions and inferences, I predict Coraline will find out what is on the other side of the bricks. And there's the brick wall behind the door. And finally, where you need to make a connection to another book, movie, your own life. She talks about in the first chapter how bored she is and how she feels like she's watched everything on television. And I know what it feels like to be super bored and feel like I've watched everything that is on TV. And I just kind of sketched out a television set there. So that's it for first chapter Friday. And then when you create these, you will turn them in on Fridays and put them into the specified slot under our materials and supplies area of the classroom. And also, you will need to film a Flipgrid, actually, before you hand it in, a Flipgrid on where you just show and explain what you drew for first chapter Friday. If you have any questions, you can send me a Schoology message, and I will get back to you. Thank you.